Guys, tell me, can you able to see my screen? Reply, guys, can you able to see my screen? Yeah, fine. So let me open the PPT file. See here. Can you able to see the PPT? Reply, guys, can you able to see the PPT? Okay. The format specifier is nothing but if you want to print the data, I mean it may be integer type or a character type or a string type or type. So each and every data type we have a format to print the data into a certain pattern. I mean certain value. We use format specifiers. So I want format specifier for the integer values. Oops. There are some of them saying it is D. Uh, what is the format specifier for the integer value? So the format specifier for the integer value is a percentage %d. Also you can also use the percentage %i for the integer values. Okay. So see here in this PPT I have mentioned the character. The format specifier for the character is a percentage %c. Okay. Character is nothing but it will store a single character into it. This size of the character is just 1 byte. Guys, can anybody know what is how many bytes, how many bits for a 1 byte? How many bits for a 1 byte? Can anybody know this? Yeah, absolutely right. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. So the character can able to store the 8 bits of data. I mean 8 1 byte of data type short. It will also store the integer values, but size is different. Short size is 2 bytes. The size of a short data type is a 2 bytes. Guys, can you able to understand this? The size of a short data type is a 2 bytes. I'll show you using a one function. I mean size of function. We have size of function to find the size of any data type. Okay, I'll show you while we open it, while we open the compiler. Okay, this is the format for format specifier. So which I had marked in the red color, those two are important. I mean without those you can't specify a format specifier. Okay, these two are necessary things in format specifier, which I had marked as a green color. They are not compulsory, they are optional. Okay, in that the first one is a size. Size means the size of a long, I mean we also have a long data type. The long data type size is a, what the size of long data type, guys? What's the size of a long data type? 4 bytes. Yes, the size of a long data type is a 4 bytes. The size of a int may be varies, I mean it may varies on a compiler. So for some compilers it will take as a 2 bytes, for some compilers it will take as a 4 bytes, whereas the long is a 4 bytes, it's a fixed. So at that situation we specify the size, I mean before percentage d, in between percentage and d will keep l, I mean large long. Okay, how we specify means, let's see here. Here I am printing a integer value. Let's take, here I am printing a integer value. So if I declare my data type as a, here I am declaring my, see here I am declaring my data type as a long. Okay, here I am storing my value as a 60k. 60k I am storing. In my var variable, I am storing the value of 60k. Okay, so here I want to print that. If the size of an integer will, if it exceeds means the value stored into a variable, if it is exceeded the size of the int data type, it will overflow. Okay, so the size of a integer data type is a, we have two ranges, one is a negative range, one is a positive range. We also have a two types of integers, one is a signed integer, one is a unsigned integers. Unsigned integer will store only the positive values. We'll see using the compiler. For now, if you want to print long data, you can also mention L in between percentage and LD. Okay, for floating also, for printing float values, you can specify F, percentage F. If you want to print the double values, the size of a double is 2 times greater than that of a float, right? So if you want to print a double value, you can, I mean length is a, I mean here I am mentioning the length. See, this is the size, which this L is the size. Okay, guys, can you able to understand this? The size of any variable is a more, I mean its size is very lengthy than its range. At that situation you can use the size. This is optional. Guys, can you able to understand this? Reply, guys. Only percentage and F are compulsory. These which I had marked in the green. Okay, let me explain you again. So here the code value should be compulsory. Okay, and the values which I had marked in the green color, I mean green color which I have marked, right, these are optional. Okay, so here percentage F, here percentage F value we use a percentage F. Okay, the size of a float is a 4 bytes. The value it can able to store is a 4 bytes of memory, but I am declaring it as a 8 bytes. 8-byte data I am declaring to the float. I can't print output using the only percentage of. So I want to change the length. I want to increase the length, output length. If I want to increase the output length, I can use the length methods. Length is nothing but a long. Here I am mentioning the long f. I mean long f means long floating type value. So the size of a double is a 8 bytes, whereas the size of a float is a 4 bytes. So if I want to print the double data, you need to increase the size. So L means long float. Okay, long float. Guys, tell me, guys, can you able to understand this? Long. For simply you try to remember, if the size is exceeded, at that situation you mention L. Okay, so size is nothing but data type size is overflowed means L, I mean L letter to print all my data. I mean to increase the size of the format specifier. So precision 6 digits after the point value defaultly. If you use the precision, you can able to decrease the values after the point using precision. We will see the using the compiler. Let me guys tell me, can you able to see the compiler? Hi guys, all of you try to reply guys. Can you able to see the compiler? Fine. See here. Here I am declaring my data as a long. My variable name is a var. In that variable, I am declaring the value as a 60k. I mean it's a 6 lakhs. Okay. Here I am printing my value. This is the format specifier for the integer values. Okay. My value. I got the output. Here I didn't get any error. Guys, tell me, can you able to understand this? If I change the value to this, then also I got the output. But it exceeded the size of the int. Now also I got the output. In case the same variable which I am using as a int var1 equal to, if you take this same value, if you try to print this value, see guys, did you get the same output? So this is optional guys. Adi, if in case if you use the optional values, or it may not, if you may not use, there will be no change in the output. Only cases it will changes if the size is exceeded than the data type size. Guys, can you able to understand this? I got the same output. Here I have used the L. For printing the long values, you should use LD. For printing the integer values, you should use only %d. So if you remove this also, then also you got the same output. That's why I said this is an optional. Guys, can you able to understand this? These are options. For printing the long values, try to use the L. I mean long value. Guys, reply question this. Guys, I'm asking able to understand this. Tell me, am I audible to you? So the length is a optional. It won't show any effect. If the size is exceeded, so the value again repeats. To avoid this, we use the L. See, I got the output. Again, I'm increasing the value to the I didn't get any changes in my output. So the L is a optional. Okay, guys, tell me, can you able to understand this? For printing the long values, you try to use the L before the D. I mean LD. You use the LD. Reply, guys, can you able to understand this? If you understood, I will go to the precision. Reply, guys. Guys, tell me, am I audible to you? You want once again see. See here, L అనేది ఎందుకు మెన్షన్ చేస్తామంటే లాంగ్ వాల్యూస్ని ప్రింట్ చేయడానికి. లాంగ్ అనే సైజు ఇంటికన్నా ఎక్కువ. ఐ మీన్ ద సైజ్ ఆఫ్ ఏ లాంగ్ ఈజ్ ఏ మోర్ దాన్ దట్ ఆఫ్ ఏ int. So to print the long values, you try to use the L before the percent. For printing the long values, try to use the L. So this is an optional. L is an optional. If you don't use also, it will come. So the values like a billion